I was going for a walk one morning and it was this little lamb that just popped up and ran straight towards me. He was just so happy to be found and he just would not let me leave him alone. And I think what had happened is he'd been born close by the night before and possibly either got lost or got rejected from his mother and he'd wandered off, and then that group of sheep had been moved on by the farmer. He was just stuck there on his own. It would have lasted maybe that day on his own. I found out who his mother was, tried to reunite them, and she had absolutely no interest. That's when I thought, I've got to help him and save him.
Good morning, little one.
He probably never had a drink from his mother.
What are you doing? Stop harassing me.
I went down to the vets and got the special colostrum milk, which they need when they're very young.
Come on, mate.
Within a week, he was running around the gardens.
Here we go. Whoa.
He just had an absolute love for life, this incredible kind of happiness. He had a space out in a shed with a garage, but they want to be with you all the time. He would come in sometimes. Beans was having approximately 6 feeds a day. I was working remotely, so I would get my laptop and work outside with Beans sitting on my lap or next to me. But it's always better for a flock animal to have at least one friend because they learn so much from each other. And there was 2 more lambs that I rescued. So suddenly Beans had friends when he was getting older.
Breakfast. Come on, Frosty. Come on, Flora. Breakfast.
If you'd asked me 10 years ago if I was going to be starting a sanctuary, I would have laughed at you. The inspiration for the sanctuary is really Beans. He incredibly grew these perfect little wings on his back of wool, completely natural. I wasn't brushing around or trying to pluck it in a certain way.
Looking good.
And that's where the name Saint Beans comes from. Not any kind of religious, but I thought, what are the chances of randomly rescuing a lamb that changes your life, that grows perfect little woolen angel wings? I grew up with dogs, German Shepherds, and I realized there's not really that much difference. They've got the same size brains. The difference is more in our perception. Beans, he's a Labrador personality. Often people, when they see sheep, they see them when they're fearful. So even a human who's fearful, you never get to really see their personality or their intelligence.
Beans.
So when they've just got
Beans.
no fear like Beans does, you really start to see the intelligence that's there. And he does things like he'll hide behind a corner, and when he thinks I'm going into the feed shed where he knows the pellets are kept, he'll wait for the perfect moment. Just when I come in to open the door, he'll suddenly pounce from nowhere and push me out of the way.
Beans. Beans.
They know their names every bit as much as dogs.
Come on, Beans. Come on, Beans.
Lambs are quite forgotten in society. The longer term goal is to get a bigger piece of land and then to be able to rescue a lot more. There's a huge need for it here in New Zealand because New Zealand exports a lot of lamb. There's a lot of ones that just are falling through the cracks. Beans, I love him and I'll do anything for him.
Hey.
If I hadn't rescued him, I would have gone back into a corporate situation and lived a completely different life. So it's quite incredible how such a random event has changed the course of my life.
Beans. Beans. Beans.